by mudslinging between all three main parties.
How do? You alright? Hello? Hiya, kids. You alright?
Similar campaign tactics from the two opposition parties who believe they're vying to snatch this seat from the Tories. The Liberal Democrats admit Labour have made their task more uphill than expected, but Chris Davis believes his local roots will still allow him to become the next MP.
I have a very strong local base, and it's that which is bringing us forward and ensuring we're moving forward today towards parliamentary success.
As Phil Woolley's final campaign leaflet makes clear, Labour's problem has always been they were a distant third at the last general election. There are few Labour predictions of victory this evening, but the party believes a strong second place should be warning enough for the government and the Liberal Democrats.
Labour with Tony Blair has said that there are no-go areas in this country. Labour is a party of the mainstream, we're a party of the majority, we're heading for government, and this by-election campaign is a step in that direction.
I'm going for a bath. I don't think they want to film it.
Relying on his local knowledge, the defending Tory is taking things more leisurely.
And I'll tell you what they don't like in the Pennine villagers. They don't particularly want open-top buses, balloons, shouting, and all this, what you might call razzmatazz. They want policies, they want explaining. They don't want Liberal and Labour parties tearing feathers out of each other.
John Hudson's hope is that John Major's leadership victory this month will break the pattern of every by-election lost under his premiership. But it's the voters who'll decide the winner in what is clearly a three-way contest.
Well, live now to the count in Oldham and our political editor, Adam Bolton. Good evening again, Adam.
Good evening, Chris.
Lots of allegations of mudslinging between the Labour and Liberal Democrats. What, in fact, is the truth behind all that?
Well, some people say Tony Blair's taken policies from the Liberals. He's certainly taken some tactics here from the old Liberals. He used to be very quick getting out leaflets, pointing out embarrassing things about the other candidates. Labour have been doing that this time round, particularly pointing out that the Liberal Democrat candidate on occasions has spoken up for liberalisation of the drug laws. The problem Labour have got, of course, is that their candidate was president of the National Union of Students who, guess what, also wanted to legalise cannabis as well. Although Phil Willis has said that although he was the president and paid by that organisation, he put forward its views, but they weren't necessarily his own. Simple matter is, Chris, that these by-elections are unreal worlds where complete non-entities, the candidates, become national figures for 3 or 4 weeks. And their past get delved into absolutely minutely. And so it's all a bit of good, clean fun, but it's certainly true to say that Mr. Mandelson has fought this one very toughly, although if he hadn't have done, I'm quite sure that the Liberal Democrats would have been prepared to come out and try to embarrass Phil Willis, for example, for his connections to the unions who sometimes voted against Mr. Blair and other things. The Liberals were hoping that they were going to be able to ignore Labour, and they certainly haven't managed to do that. The latest news we have here is that the count is progressing well. The turnout is 64.5%. They've got all the ballot boxes in now, and they're saying we could get a result shortly after midnight, slightly earlier than expected. Let's just have a look at what's at stake this evening. We've got a graphic there of what the share of the vote was at the general election. There you see the Conservatives well ahead, 44%, Liberal Democrats in second place, 36%, the Labour Party on 20%. But if we then look at votes since the general election, these are in local elections, we see it's a very different picture. And I'm joined, as ever on these occasions, by Dr. Michael Thrasher, our election analyst. Michael, quite a change there.
Well, look at the collapse of the Conservative vote. These are the local elections in May '95. The Conservative vote has gone down 23%. And you'll note there that the Labour Party has risen to 32%, but the Liberal Democrats, as they generally do in these local elections, they poll much better in local than they do in the national. I think we can just see...
Yeah, how have things changed, really, between the two votes? We've got a graphic of that, I think, coming up.
Well, if we look at the percentage change in share of the vote, we can see there the Conservative vote falling massively, but it's the Labour vote that increases slightly more than the Liberal Democrat, and I think that's what gave them, if you like, hope that they could actually snatch this seat away from the Liberal Democrats, who, on paper anyway, look as though they should win.
But on the other hand, the Labour vote may be going up, but the Liberal Democrats have still got a pretty strong base, as we can see from the map of the constituency there, that all those wards, what is that, 6 out of 8 are held by the Liberal Democrats in yellow.
In terms of the May local voting figures, the Conservatives only won Wardle in the top there, and they won Lees in the south, Labour won Lees in the south, but the rest were Liberal Democrat wards. And
so, Michael, you've got 5 seconds. Who's going to win?
Well, I think the Liberal Democrats, but only by a whisker.
OK, there you have the picture, and we expect to have a result possibly within the hour.
Adam, thank you for that. Glad to see you're in fine voice.